And before we start, can you just for um, sorry, can you confirm that you consent to being recorded for the entirety of this
Yes.
interview, and that you consent for me to publish it on YouTube for everybody to see?
Yes, very much so. I'm fine with that.
Okay, cool. And can you confirm that you haven't consulted with anyone about what you're going to say, and that your answers are going to be your own?
Yes, that is also true.
All right. And one last thing, which is, can you confirm that I have not shared with you any information regarding what I'm going to ask you?
Yeah, I can also confirm that.
All right. Then let's begin. So
hmm
first off, I'd like for you to introduce yourself and maybe talk a little bit about why you want to continue serving as prefect.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm Nixxo. I've been speedrunning Harry Potter since early 2018 March, I believe. And then I've started streaming it as well since August. I pretty much run all the games in all the categories there are, PC, console, everything. I've been streaming for a while now, pretty actively. I think that's pretty much all there is interesting to say about me. And yeah, I'd like to continue being a prefect really personally because it's a good way for me to give something back to the community, honestly, and help out where I can. Like I, I don't really care if it's a position of power or anything. I really just kind of want to help out as much as I can. So, yeah.
Great. I think people will be happy to hear that. And you mentioned in your little blurb that you wrote for the in the document where it shows who's running, that you've run every PC category in existence, and I
I
believe you're
believe that's true.
actually being literally truthful with that. Is that
Yeah.
correct? It's not an exaggeration.
I mean, I don't 100% know, but I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's any missing.
Right. And
Um,
and if there are, someone's gonna request it tomorrow, probably.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So, would you say that that's helped you learn more about the games?
Like 100% usually. I feel like any percent and 100%, and then if it exists glitchless helps a lot to learn stuff. Like there's a lot of meme categories for HP2 that I don't think really help too much, but the main ones I'd say so. Yeah, like there's a lot of things I didn't know, especially 100%ing the games before.
Gotcha. So, do you think that the prefect role should be reserved for people such as yourself who have really broad knowledge of all the PC games or many PC games? Or do you think there's a place for people on the prefect team who focus on only a small set of games or categories?
I mean, I don't think certainly not all games. First of all, I'd say it really depends like what the prefect role's supposed to be, but from the way it looks right now, it's supposed to be also about like rule discussions and all that, and having a leading role in that. And I feel like it's just kind of, if you don't know the rules for anything but one category, it's kind of hard to discuss most of the time if it's about other games, if you don't know them at all. So I'd personally say like at least a good chunk of the games you should probably be aware of at least.
And when you
And I,
say, oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, sorry.
Okay, no problem. And when you say be aware of, what exactly, can you define that specifically? Like, does that mean having played it yourself? Can you be aware of a game without ever having played it, like done an actual run of it?
I think you can be fairly knowledgeable of games without having a run, yeah. Like I'd say that's a thing that's possible. Like especially if you watch people stream it. And yeah, casual playthroughs obviously are a thing. There's people who 100% at HP6, but they never would want to run it because it's HP6,
That's me.
which I think is fair.
That's literally me. I think I beat. I think I
Mm,
got everything there is to do in that game, or maybe I quit before I. But yeah, I played that game a lot, and will not touch it with the 10-foot pole anymore.
that's very very good idea, I think.
Yeah. Um. All right. So obviously you think that you have to have some baseline knowledge of
Yes,
several different games to be considered for the role.
I'd say that would be good. Yeah,
All right.
for my
Just making sure that I'm
personal. Yeah.
understanding that right.
hmm
And you kind of talked about just now what it means to be a prefect. So I want to ask you personally, what does it mean for you, or even what would, in your ideal world, what would the responsibilities of a prefect be? Either one of those you can answer.
Okay, I mean, I can answer both, I guess. What it means, I think it's, especially now that we have a vote, it's a good way to have, like,
Internet.
feel a bit as a community representative, like a trusted person when it comes to stuff like that. And it's a bit like, modding for a game, essentially, or a bit of a representative of, well, that one's not been voted on, but I hope that's
Yeah.
a thing in the future as well.
Internet's gone out.
But it's, yeah, chosen by the community as someone to trust when it comes to discussions, or to at least have a voice.
Unfortunately, my internet just went out, so I didn't hear what you said. But since it's on the recording, it should be okay.
It's gonna be. I can. I guess too long didn't read for you real quick.
It doesn't. Yeah,
But-
it doesn't even matter. These interviews are for the benefit of the greater community, so I can just watch the footage. Just
You'll see it regardless. Yeah.
But you did get to hear the full question. That's all that I care about.
Yes. Yeah. It all went through.
Okay.
I think your webcam just stopped working, but
Yeah, I
had
didn't hear
audio.
anything you said after I asked it. You can
Okay,
recap if you'd like to for me.
Yeah, so I can answer both questions, I guess. The first one, what it means to be a prefect, I'd say, for me personally, it makes us feel a bit as a community representative, especially now that there's votes, which I hope we can do like more frequently, as in maybe yearly or something, just so people, if it changes, it changes. I also wouldn't be mad if I'm not a prefect. Like I would be fine with that. So it's a bit of like people that are trusted enough by the community to be in that position. And
Gotcha.
in an ideal world, what their responsibilities would be. Honestly, I hope, like, not. Okay, how do I answer that? Wait. So I hope the responsibilities can be both about speedrunning and also like the Discord admin stuff, because I think they can be done together. But I also hope they're not gonna take overhand. Like, we had it in the past a bit that prefects decided on a lot of things without the community, and I think we want to go back to have votes on stuff more often. So the ideal task, I'd say, were literally just obviously Discord admin stuff, keeping it clean, bots, whatever, hate stuff, ban that, obvious stuff, and then organizing, like dashboard, announcement, resources, all of that stuff. And then in terms of rule discussions, just getting a grasp of what the community wants and is talking about right now, what are certain things that are discussed or runs to be added, and then summing it up, summing it together, putting it to a vote, have people vote on it. And then if it's complete, I don't want to say nonsense, but if it's like an idea, I don't know, let's remove all cutscenes from HP6 with a mod that, filtering those out, for example, that I think is also an important step.
Yeah, we once.
I think your internet is gone again, but that's all right. I'll be waiting.
I'm having internet issues.
I saw it.
Yeah.
I was done anyways. I was just waiting.
Yeah, luckily I didn't miss anything there. I'm trying to think what the best way to proceed would be, because I don't want this to ruin the whole thing.
We can wait, see if it stabilizes.
Yeah. Luckily we
As long
are
as the
recording
recording-
locally, so there was one other dropout that happened, but it was only like a split, a few seconds. So this is the only issue we've had so far.
As long as my recording is not longer than 15 gigabytes, we're fine.
Yeah, I'm
Because
running
that's
out of
the
space
drive.
personally.
Oh, yeah. It's just the Google Drive doesn't let you upload more. That's the main point.
Gotcha. All right. I think it should be fine. The only thing I can do is adjust the cable and hope that helps. That seems to fix it sometimes. All right. So you were talking about the voting, and originally the rules that Liam shared with us around what the system was going to be going forward was that the Wiz and Gamut people would be the ones electing the prefects. And that was changed to anyone with a verified run
Yeah.
is getting to vote. Do you think those kind of changes are good, and do you see more of those changes happening where things are more and more just brought to the regular community members like me?
Yeah, especially in that one, I think, like, I don't know why we put that in there. I don't think anyone really knew. Because it was essentially like, yeah, prefects choose the Y scammer, and then the Y scammer votes on the prefects, which kind of makes no sense. It's like there's no control. And yeah, I think verified run is a good minimum requirement because the Discord has I don't know, 1,300, 400 people, I believe. So uh, I don't think it's a good idea to have everyone vote on that. That's maybe seen a Harry Potter speedrun for 10 minutes and doesn't even know the people involved. But I think the more every runner has their voice in those votes, the better it would be. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So you're currently the largest Harry Potter speedrunning content creator on Twitch, is that correct?
I believe so. Yeah.
I think we would probably know if it was someone else, unless there's someone from who's from China who's streaming
Who
at
knows?
weird hours that we never know who has getting 1,000 views every stream. But as far as we know, uh,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of weird to think that it is entirely possible that there's someone out there that we don't know about because Twitch is a huge website.
Who
Uh,
knows? Yeah. Maybe they're on like whatever the Chinese website's called. I
right, yeah. We
don't
don't know. There could
remember.
be like a whole other community.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is, do you think that status makes you better suited to be a representative of the community compared to someone who has little or no following on any website?
Mm, I wouldn't say better suited. I mean, I think that would be a bit of a high horse. What it obviously helps with is that I know a lot of people because of that, because they're obviously watching my streams. Obviously not everyone, but some people. So it helps in having knowing the community and knowing what people talk about and knowing the rules that are getting discussed. But I wouldn't say so in general. Like, absolutely doesn't qualify me more than anyone else who plays the games.
Gotcha. Do you so would you say that community involvement is a big factor for you, and something you'd think is that a good quality for a prefect to have?
I think it's a really hard metric, like community involvement. I'm not sure how you would really measure that.
Independent
Again,
of whether it's measurable or not, do you think that a good
yeah,
prefect is involved and is active in the community?
yeah, I think so. I think that would be kind of a good a good skill to have, I guess. Again, it helps if you know what's going on. It helps if you know what people think about as new runs or what people are not happy with as rules. Yeah, I think it does help.
Excellent. All right, I'm gonna start wrapping things up, I think. So just one or two more here.
Mhm.
Um, oh, I had something and then I lost. I said that and then I lost it. So
No,
for
no,
one minute to think about what I was just gonna ask. It was something relating to that, to what I just said. I'm sorry.
no, no. I think you've been a very good interview host. It's been fun.
Thanks. That's been a pleasure. What was? Oh my gosh, what was I gonna say? Well, I guess it wasn't important. If I think of, I'll let you know. Think of it later.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess we can just make something else up. So we. Oh my gosh, I had such a good follow up, and it just slipped my mind. I should have been recording my thoughts instead of the video.
It's kind of
Uh,
hard to do.
so you said you thought the community engagement was good. I think that's a pretty commonly held opinion. Oh yeah, so I just remembered it.
Hmm.
I Some people have raised concerns that lack of activity or community engagement should or some people have raised concerns about prefects in the past who have become unengaged with the
Hmm.
community, and I think there's been some internal discussion that I don't have access to about that, and I think that other people in these interviews have stated that that was kind of one of the big reasons for coming up with this new system. Do you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, that's exactly why what I mentioned earlier. I would personally like yearly votes at least, because I think it's a good indicator. Like if you become disengaged with the community, less and less people know you, so you're probably not gonna win the votes, right? At least this is my thought. And also obviously, if you don't really care anymore, should you really be a prefect? Like I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of goes hand in hand, and I hope that system helps a bit with that. The new idea of the prefects with the vote, that people stay active, or if they're active, they step back voluntarily, hopefully, and yeah.
Gotcha. Just one last thing, which is, do you think it actually harms the community to have someone in a position of, I say a position of power, but it's more like a position of influence, really, to be a prefect? It's like you can, influence things more. I mean, according to the rules, prefects can actually just vote on everything internally. They don't even have to consult Wizengamot, although that's been explained to me that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
But do you think it actually, just real quick, is it actually harmful to the system to have inactive prefects? Like, is there a noticeable downside?
I see where you're coming from with the question. I guess not really. That because they're just sitting there having the role. I don't think, to answer that honestly, I don't think there is a downside. I think it just feels a bit weird having people in those positions, and then there's like new runners and they don't know who those people are or why they have that status. I don't think it does direct harm. I wouldn't say so. But yeah, it just I think can give out the impression to the outside that it's like just a bit random who's in those roles,
Well, it basically has been
takeovers.
entirely random
Yeah,
up until
absolutely.
now, actually.
I agree. No, I agree. It has been, absolutely, 100%.
Well, maybe that's not fair. Maybe it's more fair to say that it has been a bit arbitrary.
Yes.
Who gets to be
not yeah,
prefect.
that's a better word. Yeah.
And that's not to say that people don't deserve it. I'm not trying to suggest that. I just
No, absolutely.
there
And,
have
like,
been no guidelines around who gets to be one.
Yeah, I remember when I was like picked. I don't know why I was picked either, to be completely honest. Like when I got prefect for like 2 years ago or whenever it was, I don't think I had anything that qualified me for it. I was still pretty new as well. So apart from streaming quite consistently, I don't think I had much to show. So I agree. It's been very arbitrary picks in the past.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I've been in this community, it's just kind of been, oh, we need to have prefects because you can't just, someone has to be in charge of things. So we'll just pick people who we feel are dedicated to the community and trusted members. In the beginning, the Discord, to even join the Discord, you had to be invited. At first, it was like
cutting out a little bit again.
Cutting out again. Oh gosh. Oops, I don't know what you said, unfortunately, because
I think I was just saying that I don't know what you said.
Oh yeah,
you started out,
I was just mentioning that in the early days of Harry Potter speedrunning, you actually had to be invited to join the Discord. It was just for you had to be like an active runner for a few weeks before you'd even get, like, you had to show that you were actually involved, interested in being part of that community, not someone who was just running the game just to try it out or like, yeah. And I think that's the culture just came out of that kind of culture. So, nothing wrong inherently with that system maybe, but for me, I feel like the new system, I'm hopeful that it's going to work out maybe better, serve our needs.
I'm glad to hear.
Considering how much the community's grown,
Yeah.
All right. And then just one more thing before I let you go, which is one final question that I want to ask to you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it cheating to reload your game in Harry Potter 1 or 2?
Uh, I have to say no. I'm sorry.
That's all
No,
right. I
you.
had to ask.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a good final question.
All right. Thank you so much, Nixo. Best of
Thanks
luck
for having me.
in your election. I hope it
Thanks.
goes well, and may the best people get elected. There's really no winning or losing here.
No,
It's a
I'm
free and fair
very happy.
election,
Like,
and I'm
sorry, I
confident
don't know if
that
I
you know.
if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm very happy with any of the people winning in this and getting elected. I'm just happy to be here, really. But I think they're all suited quite well, personally.
Agreed. I have confidence in the people who are running. All right, that's about it. Thank you so much for coming on this kind of I don't want to say impromptu, but it was a nearly impromptu interview program that I just thought up and created.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea. Thanks for doing this. It's I think it's cool.
Awesome, great. All right, so I'm going to talk to you later. Have a great one.
I'll send you the recordings. All right, take care, and see ya.